Okay, so I'm just going to really pick up where we left off on the last lesson. You were supposed to complete these 6 factoring problems on your own. All right, and so hopefully either you have already checked them on with the open notes to see how you did, or now you're wanting to go through these and check them as we go through them together. So as you can see, I've kind of have everything already set up here for us. So I'm just going to jump right in with number 5 here and factoring that quadratic. So let me just adjust my pen here. So now, once again, the first thing that we want to do is always look at our quadratic and see if we have a greatest common factor. In this case, we don't. So we know that our a term is going to go in this box, x squared, all right, plus 3 is going to go here. Now, what we said is that we have to multiply a times c. All right, so 1 times 3 would be 3, so that's the thing that we have to multiply there. And then we're always wanting to try to get to our bx term. So we have to get to a positive for x. All right. Now, in order to get to 3 and get to a positive 4, we'd want a positive 3 times a positive 1. And then that means that 3x plus 1x, all right, is 4x. And then I'm just going to jump up here, and we now know what our two terms would be right here. All right, and now we can look vertically for our GCF, which would be just that 1x in our first column. If we look at our second column, our GCF would be a positive 3. All right, in our first row here, our GCF would be a positive 1x. And then if we look in our third, excuse me, not our third, but our second row here, our GCF once again would be just a plus 1. And so you can see that here are our factors. So if we write these out, we should have x plus 3 times x plus 1. And there is our quadratic now in factor form. Now, once again, remember that you have the ability to check this, right? So you can easily multiply this out, and you should get to what you started here. So just create your area, all right, model, all right, x plus 3, x plus 1, and go through that problem quickly just to double check. All right, now jumping to number 6 over here, there is a GCF here. So hopefully you saw that you could take a 2 out of all 3 of those terms. So if I factor out that 2 or undistribute, I would be left with x squared plus 2x minus 48. All right, so now the x squared would go here. The minus 48 would be here. All right, and then a times c would be 1 times negative 48, so that would be negative 48 here. And then our b term here now is just going to be a positive 2x. So we need to find two numbers that multiply to be negative 48, but add to be positive 2. And so that would be 8 times negative 6. And my pen is really slowing down here. Okay, and then we could see that 8x plus negative 6x is 2x. All right, so I'm going to drop our 8x into this box. All right. And I'm going to drop our negative 6x into that box. Now, vertically, our GCF is a positive 1x. Here, our GCF is a positive 8. And in our first column here, it is going to be 1x again. Or excuse me, first row. And then our second row here, notice both terms are negative. So I'm going to take the negative out, and then our GCF between 6, that is a huge negative. Oh my goodness. All right, we don't want to be that negative, do we? All right, okay. All right, so let me just go back here and adjust everything. All right, and so negative, and then we're going to take out a 6. All right, and there's our GCF. So then if we think about writing our factors out here, we have 2 times x plus 8, and then we have x minus 6. And then there is our factored form. All right, and just remember, whenever you pull that GCF out, whatever it is, all right, you want to make sure that you bring it down and it's your final answer, because factoring includes all the parts, all right, including those GCFs we take out at the very beginning. So there we go. It's still not a great 2, but all right. So moving on to example 7. All right, no GCF with example 7, so we can jump right into our factor pattern here. All right, I'm just going to change colors really quickly. So we have y squared here. We have a positive 72 here. All right, and so we do a times c, so that's 1 times 72, so that's 72. And then we have to find a way to get to our middle term here. And our middle term this time is a positive 17y. All right, now, so 9 times 72, or excuse me, 9 times 8 is 72. And 9 plus 8 is 17y. So that's the combination hopefully you found. So I'm going to put my 9y in here. Hopefully. There we go. 8y into this box. All right. Okay, and now we can start looking at our GCFs in that first column. And you notice that you're probably seeing a pattern that most of the time right now, that GCF in this first column is 1y, and that's mainly because our A value was 1 to begin with. In our second column here, our GCF would have been a positive 9. Okay, first row, once again, we get that 1y. And then our second row, it would be a positive 8. All right, and so our factored form for this guy would be y plus 9. All right, and then y plus 8. And there's our factored form. All right, moving on to problem 8. Now, notice we do have a GCF. All right, the GCF would be 3, because 3 goes into 3, 27, 24. But notice all 3 terms are negative. And typically what we always want to do is we always want our A term to be positive. So if this leading value is negative, at the least we want to take out negative 1. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and factor out negative 3. So I'm going to take that negative 3 out. And once I do that, that's going to leave me a positive a squared. And then it's going to leave me a positive 9a. And then it's going to leave me a positive 8. All right. And now notice that not only does this simplify things, because now everything is positive, but notice now I get to a factor of 8, which has many less choices than factors of 24. All right, so let's put our a squared in here. Wow. So slow. All right, so plus, it's almost like everybody's at home right now using the internet. I don't know why that would be. All right, and so now once again, if we do a times c, that is a positive 8, right? And then our b term is a positive 9a. So we want to get to, all right, a positive 9a. All right, and that would just be 8 times 1, and then 8a plus 1a is 9a. And then I'm just going to drop those in up here, and 1a here. All right, and once again, there's that 1a is our common factor there. You get a positive 8 for our common factor there, 1a here, and then a plus 1 here. All right, so if we write out our factors, once again, we got to make sure we bring that negative 3 down, and then we have a plus 8, and then we have a plus 1. And there's our factored form. All right, so now let's look at the last 2 problems here. All right, and I'm just going to switch colors one more time here. All right, now once again, as we look at number 8, there is no GCF here. All right, so we can go right into our factor pattern. So we'd have b squared, and we'd have a negative 9 here. All right, and then a times c would be that negative 9 here. And then our b term this time is negative 8b. All right, so now we have to find two things that multiply to be negative 9, but add to be negative 8, and that would be negative 9 times positive 1. And then negative 9b plus 1b would be negative 8b. So I'm going to drop those guys in here. And that guy. Now, once again, that common factor in that first column is 1b. Now, notice both things are positive in our second column, so I'm going to take out the negative, and then you can see that the GCF would be 9. Make that look more like a 9. There we go. And then we get 1b again in that first row. And then in our second row, it's just a positive 1. So our factors for this guy would be 1b minus 9. And then it would be 1b plus 1. All right. Okay. So on to our final work here, final problem of the work today. And this, once again, does have a GCF, and that GCF is a 2. So I'm going to factor that 2 out. All right. And that would leave me n squared plus 12n plus 27. All right, so drop our a term into this box. So n squared here, c term down here, so plus 27. And then a times c is a positive 27. All right, and then let's see if I can make this move over. I thought I could get this to widen a little bit. I apologize for that. And now we have to get to, all right, a positive, all right, 12 in here. All right. Now the combination would be 9 times 3 is a positive 27, and 9n plus 3n is a positive 12n. So I'm just going to drop those guys in up here. So plus 9n and plus 3n here. And as you can see, that pattern continues. Just that 1n is your GCF in the first column. Here, it's going to be a positive 9. And then here, it's once again that just 1n. And then in our last row here, it's going to be plus 3. All right, so there it is, my friends. So 2, and then we have n plus, it's not good enough. All right. All right, all right, all right. Get back here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. There we go. All right, see if I can do it a little bit better this time. N plus 9. There we go. And n plus 3. Ha! All right, there we go. All right, so that's finished with all the classwork, all the notes. All right, so now your objective will be to log back on a later day or tomorrow, and now give the homework a shot. So hopefully this was helped. If you have questions, once again, email us, contact us, come drop out or hang out in our Google Hangout and chat with us and ask questions. Otherwise, hope your day is well. All things are good, and we'll check in on you later. Bye.